Hello everyone, welcome to I Spy. I've been wanting to do a photography project with you guys for a long time, and since we're all sort of at home and using the materials and art materials and things you have at home, this is a perfect time. And the best way I think of to introduce photography is the books I Spy. I want you guys to meet a famous an artist. His name is Walter Wick. Now, Walter Wick is a little different artist. He likes to draw, he likes to paint, but he's known as a photographer, and he's well known for photographing all of the pages and images for I Spy books, Hey Seymour, and Can You See What I See? All of those really cool books that I just have loved over the years, and hopefully you have too. Walter Wick is, like I said, he's a photographer. He photographs all of these objects, but what I want you guys to understand is he spends a lot of time arranging these objects to get the photograph that he wants for the books. Like you see here, hopefully with this image, every little piece, it looks like a bunch of toys have just been dropped onto the floor, but everything has been set in place by Walter Wick. The objects, and if he doesn't have the object he needs, he makes it. He either sculpts it or he paints it. But that's what I'm trying to get across by showing this is. So what if we wanted to create an I Spy book just like Walter Wick? So what is his process? So step number one, you have to have an idea first. So the image that you see here, Walter Wick is thinking of a spaceship with all kinds of cool little gizmos and gadgets, but he also wants to not only see the outside of the spaceship flying in space, but he also wants you to be able to see what's happening on the inside the spaceship. So step one, the idea. First, Walter Wick draws out his ideas for his photographs. Step two, you got to find all the materials. Now, Walter Wick has used, instead of throwing anything away, I think he stores it all. He's got everything from buttons to straws to just any kind of little found object that you can think of, and he just lays it all out. He's actually sculpting the spaceship out of cardboard. So step number two, find the materials. Step number three, let's create. Let's create and arrange all of the pieces and all the objects. So you can see Walter Wick, and he's sort of gluing and sticky tack, using sticky tack to stick all of these little objects onto the cardboard sculpture he's made. Notice he also has a helper in the back. Walter Wick uses a small team of artists, sculptors, painters. This guy's actually wiring electrical lights into the spaceship, and so this is also, again, the part of step three is assembling and painting and creating the image that you want. For the photograph. So Walter Wick has a team of artists who helped him sculpt, paint, and create some of the props and sets for the photos. Like I said, he really does get into his work. And everything you see in those books, the I Spy books, has been set in place by Walter Wick. Even though it looks like it's been thrown out onto the floor, he puts every little piece in its proper place, just to get one photograph, one really good high quality photograph. As you can see, he's actually built a table, and on the table he's put laminate flooring on. So it's actually sort of a false floor, and then he's trying to make it look like a kid's room by adding a chair, a ball, a bat, a bookcase, and all kinds of little objects you might see in a kid's room if you've been playing with your toys and you didn't put them away. But that's the look that he wants. Now, step four, after you have come up with the idea, sort of drawn down, create a sketch, You gathered all your pieces. Step 2. Step 3, you create the scene that you want to take a photograph. Step 4, let's photograph it. This is actually the true photograph that he's in one of his books, but you can look at it. And again, if you only saw the photograph and you didn't see the behind the scenes footage, go back one, it looks just like a kid's floor. It looks like a kid's room. It doesn't, you set everything up on a table, but it looks like we're actually on a floor. And this is the photograph of the spaceship put together with the lid on, and them flying through space. Now, we're not finished yet. So you have the idea, step 1, step 2, gather your pieces, step 3, organize the pieces, arrange them the way you want, step 4, take the photograph, but step 5, why don't you write a story? Let's start write a story or a poem that goes along with the photograph that you took. And you also have to create a list of things that people can find in your photograph. I just wanted to share a few more images from his famous books, and I just love these photographs. But even though all of these toys look like they're flying in the air, believe it or not, they're all set in place one by one in the right spot and the right lighting just to get this one photograph. The secret of this, he actually had a clear piece of glass, and I think he has glued and hung the piece in front of the glass or glued the pieces to the glass to actually make it look like everything is falling apart or floating in air. So I just wanted you to see the behind the scenes footage of how some of the amazing photos were taken, and check out some of Walter Wick's video links. So if you're apparently you're on the website, if you're seeing this, over on the right side you have some of the links that will take you on tours of his studio. You can see him creating some of the sets, or just hear him go explain some of the cool behind the scene ideas that happen that we don't necessarily see or we get from the book. We just see all these fabulous images, really good examples of photography. So I have another clip that I'd like to show you that's going to show you sort of how I created some, and then you can follow these same steps and hopefully you can create some too. So I'll see you in the next clip.